going to have a quick overview of what neural search is and how Jina does it. And we're going to explain that using cute, fluffy animals and maybe a few not so cute ones as well. So just be warned. And then we'll jump into another deck about how you can best contribute to open source and contribute to Jina as well, if you like. So that's the plan.
Cool. That is awesome. So let's start with something simple about Hacktoberfest and what exactly is happening here. And then we will go ahead with what are all the projects that is curated by Jina or given by Jina for Hacktoberfest. And then we can go for it. So Hacktoberfest is this 1 month long live, like what do you call this, 1 month long hackathon. You can't say it's kind of a marathon, but it is definitely not a hackathon. It is a nice, awesome, like, oh yeah, you're in the hack space, right? Yeah, okay. So yeah, so it is 1 month long. It's not exactly a competition, but it's a great initiative to start with new people to come into the open source world and explore things. So that is about Hacktoberfest, and it is initiative by DigitalOcean, GitHub, and other awesome folks. And we have Jina as well, has got a lot of awesome, super cool projects. And Alex here, he's from Jina, and he's going to take over the whole stream, and it is going to be really interactive, really awesome. And Alex, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Praveen. If anyone has any questions, I don't know how you can ask them. Praveen knows all of that stuff.
So please go ahead and ask, put it in the chat messages, and Alex, I'll pick up the questions and I'll tell you so that you can answer them.
All right.
And feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to chat, and go ahead, ask the question. This is one chance for you to win a lot of swags from Jina as well. So there are swags as well. So don't forget to ask those questions. And over to you, Alex.
All righty then. Okay, let me find the window. Okay, can everyone see this?
I guess so, and I'm gonna go off in a few seconds. Yes, it's all yours.
Okay, so as I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about Jina and neural search, and then talking about how to contribute to open source generally. So, content warning, as I said, there's some cute and some not so cute animals up ahead. So before we dive into what neural search is, let's take a step back and think about search in general. When you think about search, what do you think of? For most people, it's searching using text. You go to Google, you type in cute puppies near me, and you hit enter, and a list of cute puppies comes up, one would hope. Or you could go to LinkedIn. If you're searching cute puppies on LinkedIn and you get stuff, I'm impressed. But yes, search using text is what most people think of as search. But really, search can be about so much more, right? So every time you search the App Store, that's search. Duh, obviously. But think about it, using Shazam as well. You find a Beyonce song you like, you take a clip, and Shazam is searching the music database for similar songs. Or you could search using video, upload an image, video, find similar videos. Upload a machine learning PDF, find similar machine learning PDFs. All of this is similarity search. You're uploading a thing and the search engine finds similar things. Even a chatbot is a kind of search when you think about it. But instead of coming with 10 or 100 results, it just pops up the one most relevant result. So that is what search kind of is. But now what is neural search? To explain that, we're going to use cute animals, because who doesn't love cute animals? I really hope everyone here loves cute animals, because otherwise I worry about you. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of doggos and kitties here, and they are just bloody adorable, aren't they? And you know what goes well with cute animals? Math. We all love putting things on graphs. And it's quite simple in this case. We've got cute cats on one side, we've got cute dogs on the other side. No wombats, no kangaroos. It's pretty easy to break these down into two categories, to classify them, if you will. And sorry about this, but I did warn you some not so cute animals as well. So this will make sense because we're going to add another dimension to our graph. So we've got cat, we've got dog, we've got and we've got so I moved them around a bit. This doesn't actually reflect how dog-like they are or how cute, but we need to move it. We need a little bit of variation in the graph just for the sake of this demonstration. And that one there, it is apparently a dog, according to Google image search. Go figure. Just a quick word about definitions. So we call the axes dimensions. So we have the cat dog dimension and the cute scary dimension. And the point where a piece of data fits is called an embedding, and we'd represent it as coordinates, as 10 on the x-axis, 1 on the y-axis, for example. And all of this together we can think of as the index. Now, as I said before, similarity search. Let's get a new image and find something similar to this little snowball of joy. So where would he fit? Or where would they fit? Well, probably not up here. Probably not around the cats either. So yeah, we've got another cute fuzzy little snowball here. So probably right around there. And now we found the closest match. In short, that's similarity search. And you did all of this with your own neural network made out of meat. You did it without even thinking about it. Well, your brain was doing something, but it wasn't really conscious because you've grown up with cats and dogs, or at least with images of cats and dogs. You got this, man. So, yeah, how dumb do you think we are? But seriously, this does tie into neural search. We understand the dimensionality of ugly or cute or cat or dog, or delicious like beer, or horrible like broccoli in my case. So this lets us build a mental model and embed the pictures into it, or embed the tastes of food into it if we're thinking about tastes of food, or all of the different things. We arrange them. They can be arranged in these multi-dimensional graphs in our heads. So why did we just do this? So, yeah, as I said just now, your brain was doing this. And neural search does exactly the same thing with silicon-based neural networks, aka deep learning models. So, yeah, instead of being made of meat, it's made out of silicon, and it's on chips in a computer. So in short, neural search uses the embeddings from deep learning models for similarity search. In reality, it's definitely not as simple as, a two-dimensional graph. Nothing ever is. So this here is a hypercube. It's a four-dimensional shape. And that doesn't even begin to explain it, because a lot of these models, they have hundreds of dimensions to understand different things like images or audio or text. It's really difficult to show that on a screen or to conceptualize it. It's a little noisy here. I can try to move. Okay, I'm going to assume not. And we could use lots of other dimensions as well, like how floppy the ears are, how dark or light the color is. We could even work out the exact color, because we could use 3 dimensions, one for R, one for G, one for B. So a lot of stuff can be expressed in terms of dimensions. And the advantages of this neural search, as opposed to traditional search, is, first up, it's semantic. That means it understands the meaning of things, just like you understand cute or ugly or cat or dog. You're not just looking at shapes and colors and computing, this is a cat, this is a dog. You know this, just like a model like Clip would know it as well. It can work with lots of different data types. As I said, you could have one model for looking at pictures of cute animals. You could have another model for thinking about the tastes of food, or thinking about the people you know, and do you like them or do you hate their guts with the power of 1,000 burning suns? Typically, the challenges of this have been infrastructure and optimization, because all of these deep learning tools and frameworks, they rely on a lot of complex moving parts, and not all of these always work well together. It's like me with my racist uncle having dinner. He's got his neural network in his head. I've got my neural network in my head, but they really don't get along together. Now, Jina solves this problem, well, at least for neural search. Not for my dysfunctional family, but we live in hope. So in short, our mission is to provide an open source neural search ecosystem that allows anyone to search for information in all kinds of data with high availability and scalability. And Jina can search all sorts of things. If there's a model for it, i.e. a neural network, then you can use it. You can use Jina to build a search engine to search that kind of thing and find similar things. So the coolest ones I've seen so far are 3D meshes and proteins. And I can actually demo at least the 3D meshes one right now.
Alex, can we take up one question right now?
Oh, of course. Go ahead.
Okay, so Vikas Pooner asks, does one need to have knowledge of neural networks, AI, or general full stack developer can also contribute to Jina AI? For example, a MERN or main stack developer like me.
So a bit of background on myself. I studied Chinese at university. I dropped out of computer science because it was the year 2000. It was New Zealand. It was, this is a keyboard, type, this is a mouse, click, click. It was too boring. So I don't have a formal CS background. And I don't have a formal background in machine learning or deep learning. I've mucked around with transformers a few times, mucked around with PyTorch a bit, but don't really know what I'm doing there, to be honest. As long as you have some, I'd say, intermediate level Python, you can use Jina. Does that answer the question?
Hopefully, yes. Let's wait for him.
Great. While we're waiting, I'll show you the 3D mesh search I was talking about. Now, this looks kind of boring, right? We've got some kind of dome, weird black shape, and I don't want to know what that is, honestly. But if we mouse over them, we can rotate them and drag them around. So we can see it's a baseball cap, a piano, and a gun. So now using this, we can search for similar objects in the data set. So if we search for a gun, similar guns come up because this neural network understands 3D models. So it understands things like shapes, like coordinates, like how things fit together. It's not always perfect. I mean, if you try to shoot someone with a street lamp, good luck to you, or rather bad luck. Just don't try shooting people at all. And because we're using a very limited data set, it's sometimes having a bit of trouble finding the exact right thing. Showcase.jina.ai is just to demo the technology. If you're using this in production, you'd be fine-tuning the model to improve it and using a much, much bigger data set and getting better results. We've also got ones for PDF search and e-commerce. Yeah, back to the deck. Protein search is really cool. So this was built by a couple of MLH fellows. Proteins can basically be expressed as strings of text. So this uses a text-based model that is specifically trained on, well, however a protein is represented in text.
Alex,
feel
free to send the links over in the chat so that I can push it on to the Git, like YouTube.
Okay, roger that. I'll do it. Hang on.
I've sent that already.
Okay.
So this one, the
right.
the GitHub thing.
hang on. Okay. So that's 1 and 2. There we go.
Thank you. And your answer was perfectly answering the. So thank you.
Ah, great. Glad to hear it. Yeah, the protein one. I'm no bioinformaticist. I don't exactly know how it works, but the point stands. Upload one protein sequence, find similar proteins. And this can be used for drug discovery or things like that. Right, back to the deck. So Jina has just 3 basic concepts you need to learn. Number 1 is a document. And, you know, this is pretty straightforward. A document is any kind of data. It could be a text file, an image file, an amino acid, a 3D mesh. Basically, the thing in the data set that you want to search, but also the thing that you plug in as your search query. For example, if I'm searching text, the data set is all pieces of text. And I would go to my search engine, I would type text in, hit enter, and pieces of text would come back. So that document would be text. We've got executors. An executor does one simple thing to a document. In the case of text, it might segment it. So that would be chop it up into sentences or paragraphs, and then encode it. So that would be putting the sentence or paragraph onto that graph that we talked about earlier. So based on the meaning. And then we would index it. So if you're looking up things in a textbook, an old school textbook made out of paper, you want to find something fast, you'd look it up in the index. And that's what we do here to make the searching faster. And then we have a flow. So a flow connects all the executors into a chain. You put the document in one end, it goes through all the executors, and it gets stored in the index at the end. And you can chain together lots of different executors to do lots of different things. Myself, I'm a real Linux geek. I live in the terminal, so I think of it a lot like Bash. So the equivalent in Bash, well, if I were doing this in Bash, cat document, pipe to cutter, pipe to encoder, pipe to indexer. So to take the document, cut it up, encode it, and then put it in the index. This is just a toy example. It wouldn't really work in Bash. But in Jina, it would work something like this. So yeah, you can see very similar concept. But it's also a bit like Bash plus apt-get, or brew install, or pip install, or whatever you use to install libraries or software. So in Bash, we might go apt-get install cool new encoder. And here we would just put it in with Jina Hub, / cool new encoder. So you don't have to write all of these executors yourself. You can go to Jina Hub. I've got a slow connection today. Yes, and we've got a lot of these things already existing for you to use with just one line of code. So a simple indexer to build up that fast index. Transformer torch encoder. If you know anything about deep learning, you will have heard of Hugging Face transformers and PyTorch. So this can use any transformers model to encode the text onto all of those different graphs. We've got a sententizer to cut text into sentences. A ranker to change the ranking of the results. Image encoders. All of these different things that you can use. And they're all available for free. Just use them with one line of code. So in short, Jina lets you build a neural search engine with just a few lines of code. I've built text search engines and image search engines, and yeah, it really is generally under 100 lines of code. And when you consider that a lot of that is preparing the data set as well, because yeah, if you're in data science or any of that, you'll know how painful it is to deal with data sets. So you can use Jina to search any kind of data, as long as there's a neural network model out there that can understand it. You can scale it up for deployment with Docker, with Kubernetes. Just 3 simple concepts to learn. You can use existing models from Jina Hub or integrate your own. And it works on Linux, Mac, and Windows. I'll go into our next deck now, or
shall we take some questions as well? So I guess there was one question which was related to the open source nature of Jina. So how much of Jina is open source, and is Jina completely open source?
Jina is completely open source, yes.
Awesome.
Any more questions?
It's a basic question from Raju Bhai. I need to explore artificial intelligence, but I don't know how to start. Right now, I'm studying engineering and computer science. Okay, that's a generic question.
I would say, the way I always get started with anything is to scratch an itch. Or if there's no itch to scratch, do something that seems fun. I got started in AI by taking a language model called GPT-2 that can generate lots and lots of text, and generate it quite well. It can seem like a human has written it, or a very strange human sometimes. But I took a version of GPT-2 that had been fine-tuned on movie scripts. Then I fine-tuned that to write Star Trek scripts, because I love Star Trek. And the results were weird and funny, and that's what I was going for. And it taught me a lot about transformers, working with PyTorch. PyTorch is probably the biggest deep learning library out there at the moment for building neural networks. And that helped me get the job at Jina.
I guess we can continue with the next set. So in case
All
of,
right.
there are no more questions so far, at least at this point.
Okay. So contributing to open source. This is part 2. So first of all, what the heck is a Jina? I don't need to go over this. We've already done it. How with AI baby, blah, 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 blah. Seen all that. Check out our repo and examples. Our repo is at get.jina.ai. Very easy to remember. And yeah, you can see everything here. If you want to get started with Jina, the README is the place to start. Right. Okay. Back to the deck. But why? Why would you? Who cares? Why would you want to contribute to Jina? Why would you want to contribute to open source? First of all, you're already here. So chances are you are interested. And it is Hacktoberfest. So hey, get a shirt, or better yet, plant a tree by making your PRs. It'll help build your confidence as a developer as well. It really helped me a lot. It'll help you build up your GitHub profile and CV. And this is something a lot of companies really care about. In the case of Jina, we always look at someone's GitHub profile. If they're a developer, or even if they're just coming into developer relations. Understanding open source, understanding how to contribute using Git, and letting other people see your code, that counts for a hell of a lot. Scratching an itch. I've written so many things that scratched an itch. I was talking before we officially started about how I wrote before I worked at Jina, Corona happened, screwed up my job prospects rather a lot. So I was out of work for a bit, and I wrote a cover letter generator. Because when you're applying for jobs and having to write a cover letter for every job you apply to, open your template in Word. Change this, change that, save it, export it to PDF maybe, copy it to your clipboard maybe, and just hope you don't make a mistake during all that long, stupid process. So instead of doing that, I created, I think it was a Bash script or a Python script to just automate all of that. It's actually on my repo. And the cover letters themselves didn't help me get a job. But when people saw the cover letter generator on my GitHub repo, I mean, it was very simple, but they were impressed with my laziness. So, yeah, that really helps. I'm sure it helped me get the position at Jina. It helps you gain understanding, which, yeah, I want to understand all the things. And it helps you give back as well, because I've been using open source, man, since around the time of Windows 95. So a long time. And open source got me where I am today. I was one of the first members of the first hackerspace in China. That got me an opportunity to build open source aerospace and get $500,000 from the US government and do some work with NASA and DARPA. DARPA, the crazy branch of the US military who invented the internet. I then got involved in open source eco-village projects, and now I'm working at Jina. So open source has done so much for me. And yeah, I'm all about giving back, standing on the shoulders of giants. Also, it's fun. I mean, digging into a code base, solving those problems, working out how every little thing is connected to everything else. For me, that's really cool. And as I said before, if you ever do want to work for Jina, yeah, you're going to have to make a PR. That's a key thing. But even before that, if your GitHub profile has a lot of green, this is mine. It would be more green, but I'm not a full-time developer. I'm developer relations. So yeah, the more green, the better. And of course, all the contributors to Jina get recognized on our GitHub repo. And of course, swag as well. I'd say swag is a perk, it's a bonus. Don't contribute low quality stuff just for swag. And I know none of you out there are planning on doing that, but it has happened. And at the end of the day, why? What are you doing this for in the long run? Are you doing this to get a really good job? Are you doing it because you're passionate about the community? Because let me tell you, if you're applying for a FANG company, they're going to want to see quality work on your GitHub repo. They're not going to accept a photograph of your wardrobe with cool t-shirts instead. So what can you contribute? Well, there are so many things. The obvious ones are things like code and issues, but there's other stuff too, like helping build the community. So to get started, first of all, read through our basic documentation if you want to contribute to Jina. Or whatever project you want to contribute to, read the docs. You don't have to read everything. Maybe you won't even understand everything, but it's a good starting point. For Jina, that's at docs.jina.ai, and we have our basic concepts. So what is neural search is important. Basic concepts, yeah. And then the fundamental section. I would say those are, for Jina, the most important things to go through. I'm not going to full screen this because I'm going to be bouncing around the browser a lot. Build a simple example using the technology. Use it, get a feel for it. Check for good first issue and Hacktoberfest issues. So where are we? Here we are. So yeah, good first issue. Let's click the label. So things like write a blog post, lots of blogs. Oh, this is my issue. Yeah, fixing some code for loading CSV data sets, build a project, all of these different things. Yeah, and I would say join our Discord community. That's more active than our Slack generally. The Slack is more for enterprise users. Discord is more for other developers. For submitting PRs and issues, we've got our contributing guide in the repo, and a lot of projects have this. Because if you don't follow the guide, your PR won't be accepted. And it's not, maybe it won't be, it won't be. Because we have our CI/CD system. When you make a PR, it will check things like your naming conventions. So if your commit message is in the wrong format, it's just auto-rejected. You'll be notified, you'll be able to fix it and resubmit, and we're absolutely fine with that. It's just an automated system. Why do we do this, though? It really helps keep the repo organized. It lets us build better change logs. Where's a change log? Yeah, see? It lets us auto-categorize all of these things. So if people want to see what's new in Jina, yeah, then we really need to have those labels and have that naming convention to make it straightforward and usable. Otherwise, there lies chaos. All right. I would say prerequisites are some decent Python skills and Git skills, unless you're like writing a blog post, in which case you just need Git skills. Comment on, actually, that should be comment on an issue. Okay, boom. If you have a new idea, ask first in Slack or ask in Discord, because, maybe that's not something we are envisioning. And of course, use the naming conventions. If you have an issue, post it to GitHub, not just Discord. Use the correct form. We have a lot of different forms. We have a few different forms for issues, depending on what they are. I found a bug, feature request, or just food for thought. Docs are super important to us. We're very proud of our documentation, and we wanted to get better and better over time. We keep that in our core repo. And the docs, if you want to contribute to docs, you'll just really need to know Markdown and maybe a few extra flags as well. But you can see the syntax in the docs themselves. For example, if we go to install, we can go to raw. Yeah, we can see how all of this is put together. If you make a change, I should say not just in docs, but if you make a change in anything, test it locally before making your pull request. Because even if you're just tweaking some YAML, and I've done this before, it can all go horribly wrong. Because, maybe you accidentally put a colon and YAML doesn't like extra colons, or maybe the quoting is wrong. Every project tends to have their own style guide. With us, there's a lot of capitalization, and understand the terminology. So we have a concept called document array, one word. It's not document space array. And that's just an example that's come up before. Examples, we really like seeing examples. Create them in a personal public repo. Let's see, where's my meme search example? So this is mine. One of the key things I would say is having a requirements file. In the case of mine, they are all in the individual backends, just so they don't interfere with each other. And have a nice README, things like that. I would say the requirements file is super important because that's how we can track that your project is using Jina. Use latest version of Jina. Do not use 0.x or 1.x. They're completely different from 2.0 and onwards. If you're building a front end and you know Python, like I do, I always use Streamlit. It's quick and dirty and not super flexible, but it'll make something really fast. And you can share it on the showcase channel of our Discord, and then we'll amplify that. We'll share it with the community and get the word out about your cool project. Executors, as I said, we have Jina Hub. We're always looking for more executors on here, useful ones, that is. So implement your own segmenter, encoder, indexer, or whatever. All the info's on docs. We have a wizard to do that for you. Even something dead simple like, what did I do? Remove dead URLs. So this just checks the metadata in a document. If it finds a dead URL, it removes the document from the data set. So yeah, you're not dealing with junk data. Blog posts, I would say posted on a high traffic publication, like Towards Data Science or Hacker Noon, something like that. Failing that, do it on your own blog. If you have one on Medium, that's good, because you can use the network effect. Make it meaningful and personal. Use your own voice. Don't just be superficial and dry about it. Tools like Grammarly are fantastic. For inspiration, you can check the Jina blog, or if you Google Jina Story Chatbot, one of our community members wrote this about integrating Jina with Rasa. Rasa is a chatbot platform. Don't actually try to follow this because it's from over a year ago. It's really out of date now. But yeah, it was a really good article. We were really happy with that. The other place you can check is, I've written a few posts that reference Jina. They're not always directly about it. But yeah, things like which models to use for different use cases. Supporting our community. We really love the community supporting the community. That warms our hearts. It makes us so happy to see. I would just say that reply inside the thread, not as a top-level message. If you know someone else who can answer it, tag them. If there's a doc, link to it, all of that goodness. Social media, every open source project loves your love. So yeah, be sure to tag the project, use relevant hashtags. I tend to use memes or videos as the graphics, just because, yeah, they're a lot more eye-catching. They get a lot more shares. And schedule the post for when you want your audience to see it, using tools like Buffer, or I think Twitter offers that natively now. And anything else you can think of. Open source projects are generally very happy to have you contribute in lots of different ways. Ask the project before you come up with a crazy idea, though. Different projects have different personalities, different needs. We're generally very happy to a lot of things, but yeah, just ask first. So we make sure everyone's on the right track. Some other things to bear in mind. Don't lose heart if your stuff doesn't get accepted right away. God knows mine wasn't. Not every contribution is equal. So if you're sending a tweet about Jina, unless you're Kim Kardashian or Beyonce, it's not going to count as much as an executor. If you're Beyonce and you do create a Jina executor, wow, impressive. I know she's great, but yeah, that would be mind-blowing. If you're confused, just go on Slack, ask in the support channel or in the contributors channel. We're always happy to answer. Our community is super friendly. I said Slack, Discord. So used to talking about Slack. If you do something amazing, you get God's tier swag. These are 3D printed medals that I designed and 3D printed. You can't see it, but they're personalized. So on the back, it has the name of the winner of our meme competition that we ran a few months ago. Yeah, and this is the prototyping process. And right now, if you're in India, then we are working with Indian vendors right now to get swag delivered. It's still early days. There might be a few bugs to work out, but we're on it. It will take a little time, but it'll get there. Yeah, not much else to say, except we look forward to your contributions. And if you have any questions about Jina, about open source, I mean, hell, about hackerspaces, these are very open source places, just let me know.
I guess, yes, we can take up a couple of questions. There are a lot of questions, in fact. So I'll go by one. So in the data science space, so Aditya Jha asks, in the data science space, what should one give preference to, Kaggle or open source?
I mean, a lot of the data sets on Kaggle are open source. So for my meme search engine, the data set was CC0. So, okay, that dog is getting a little distracting. Very cute, but distracting. Actually, I can stop sharing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of the stuff on Kaggle is completely open source, and you can just use that. So it doesn't have to be, there is open source outside of GitHub.
Great. So, yeah, that's interesting. Naman Jolly asks, can I combine my Flutter app and somehow use Jina to use in the backend for some Android XML project?
Yes, certainly. There's actually a project by one of our community members, Rudransh Sharma, that I think he built a Shark search engine using Jina on the back end and Flutter as the front end. So that is more than doable. Basically, if you can build Jina offers 3 gateway protocols, gRPC, which isn't so useful in my experience unless you're building something that doesn't need to connect to the web. We also have an HTTP interface, RESTful interface, and WebSockets. So yeah, integrating is really simple.
Excellent. Yeah, wow, nice, Alex, from Raju Bhai. And a lot of people have given the stars for you. And
nice. We love those stars. Hit up our repo, get.jina.ai. Smash that star button, people.
And smash the like button here. Hit the subscribe button as well. So Vikas asks, do we need to wait for an issue to get assigned, or directly can we work on it and then make a PR?
I would say find the issue, comment on it saying you're going to work on it, and then just start working on it, make the PR.
Okay. Excellent. And yeah, everyone says that it was informative. And yeah, any other questions from your side? Like, yeah, we do have a lot of community, the tech leads here. So community leads are here. We should not forget that. So people who are joined GDSC leads, if you would like to talk something, ask something, like this is the time, and you can also make your voice here.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Alex. So I was the one who asked that Kaggle versus open source question. I was talking in the perspective of that. Suppose a person has limited time. Should he focus on contributing to a Python or machine learning repositories on GitHub, or should the person focus on Kaggle and Kaggle competitions and all that stuff?
That's a very good question, and I guess it depends on what your goals are. If your goals are to become better at applied machine learning, then I would say Kaggle is probably a good way to do it. Disclaimer, I've never really done any Kaggle contests. I vaguely know what it's about. Yeah, I have a good idea, but I have no skin in that game. I would say if you want to become an open source contributor, then yes, contributing to frameworks and libraries on GitHub is probably a good idea. I will say that a lot of these are pretty well established, like PyTorch or Transformers. So a lot of the low-hanging fruit might have already been picked. But yeah, it really depends what you want to do, what your goals are.
Yeah, okay, that answers my question. By the way, for those who have joined in, really thank you for joining in. I am Aditya Jha. I am the GDSC lead of Maharaja Gracian Institute of Technology. So hey everyone. Yeah, okay.
Any other questions? Anyone else would like to ask a question? Unmute yourself, or let's see if there are any questions from the YouTube side of things. Oh yeah, Gauransh Kumar asks, how can we scale the Jina-based apps using DevOps tools like K8s, Kubernetes?
Good question. I am not a DevOps guy. I'm just DevRel. I make Jina sexy to other developers. I don't focus on DevOps. But if you go to docs.jina.ai, we have a whole lot of stuff on Kubernetes and I think experimental features.
Awesome. Cool. Then the answer is almost yes. So anyone who is in the Kubernetes or the containerization side of things, they can confirm it.
Yeah.
Right.
We also offer like sharding and replication. So
wow.
All of these executors I spoke about, you can run them locally on your machine. You can run them in the cloud. You can have a hybrid model. You can have replicas of them. Like if you're doing a lot of image encoding, that's heavy computational work. So maybe you'd want 2 or 3 image encoders running in parallel, then just one indexer, because that's relatively fast. So you can run all of those on different machines, on the same machine, in the cloud, wherever you like. In Docker, outside of Docker. When I'm building my examples, hang on, I'll share my screen and I'll bring up Hub. Okay. So if we go to Jina Hub, yeah, we can see here, uses Jina Hub plus Docker. So each of these executors can run in their own Docker sandbox. And that's really nice for avoiding conflicts. As I said before, a lot of deep learning stuff has complicated requirements that can clash. If you're running things in Docker, in a sandbox, it's much, much nicer. No clashes.
Awesome. I guess, yeah, we are done with the questions from YouTube as well. So any other questions, other folks from GDSC? Okay, cool. Thank you once again, Alex. It was like really amazing session, and you have to look at the YouTube comments. Everything was like excellent. So thank you so much for making this happen. And any other last words before leaving the whole thing?
Well, I'm just wondering if anyone is into open source hardware as well, because that's a whole other thing.
Wait, so, where are you? Show your place. I'm going to make you full screen. Go on.
Okay, I will give you a quick tour. I'm here in the hackerspace in Berlin, Germany, called Exhain. It's a very cool place. Lots of 3D printers, laser cutters, things that'll cut your fingers off if you're not very careful. Or some 3D printers can stop you having babies if you mishandle the materials. So, yeah, I'll do a quick 360 and hope I don't fall over and smash my laptop. So yeah, behind me, we've got the LED tree. It's a very tree-themed place. There's the other tree. Yeah, just there. So this is the place where I'm doing my hobby project, building animatronic butterflies. So they have tiny motors. They sit on you. They move like a real butterfly, look like hopefully a real butterfly. Still very much a prototype, but a lot of other open source geeks hang out here. We help each other build projects and just hang out, have a lot of fun generally.
That was awesome. Like literally, I mean, did you all look at it? Like I was in Leicester. Leicester is in, it's like the Madhya Pradesh of UK, and it's in East Midlands. And we had something called as Leicester Hackspace, Hackerspace, Makerspace, something. I guess it was Leicester Hackspace, and it was almost similar to what Alex showed just now. But oh my God, it just brings me back those memories. And definitely someone, like everyone should go at least once to a makerspace or a hackerspace once in your lifetime, because it's extremely good irrespective of whether you are a hardware hacker or not.
Oh yeah, like when I first started going to hackerspaces, I was not a hardware hacker. I could barely program, but it was that community I felt so accepted. I learnt so much. And, now I've got an apprentice here. She calls herself my creepy apprentice. So I like that. I'm thinking of just calling her Igor. But yeah, it's like I learned so much from Hackerspace.
Would you like to introduce her in this call?
Oh, she's not here right now. But it's actually a much bigger place than this. Downstairs, we've got our own bar with custom cocktails and all sorts of crazy things.
Think about open source bar. Like we come in and give some crazy recipes with jalapenos and other things, and then mixing with apple juice.
Jalapenos and apple juice. Well, okay, I can see why you would open source that recipe, because no one would buy it. There's no monetary value in keeping that secret.
But definitely it's going to be really cool, because I don't know, I really had one kind of a juice which contained jalapenos, apple, pineapple, and lemon, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about the mix. Maybe it could be lemon, lime, and jalapenos, but definitely there was jalapenos in it. It was so tangy, so awesome. And that was the first and last time I had in my life. I enjoyed it, and now I couldn't even find it anywhere. There are only few people like me. I guess everyone else hated that thing.
Well, I know that there is open source cola exists, and maybe open source beer as well. So yeah, awesome. Open source goes way, way beyond just software, hardware. There is so much crazy stuff out there that people have opened up. Like if you search for open source ecology, someone is building a whole construction set for a village. Open source tractors, open source brick making machines, you name it. It's crazy.
It's always like good to team up with others who are like either like-minded or maybe who are extra brilliant than us, so that we can learn something new. And this is like awesome. I guess we should open source literally everything. Open source making money, open source getting job. Two main things. Or maybe, who knows, open source the government so that it can become more better.
I think Iceland's constitution is on GitHub, and any citizen can make a PR.
Wow.
Some European country.
That's awesome. I mean, like, okay, can we do that in India, folks? Some support? Okay. I guess because of this, I'll be getting my video removed as well. Who knows? Yeah, that's like a very level strategy, I would say. it's a totally a different league. So these guys are like immediately checking out if there are any other hacker spaces next to them. So that's interesting. Great.
There are a lot in India. So just Google hackerspaces India.
Okay, are there a lot? Okay. What about London? I need to also find out if there are any in London. And
London Hackspace is one of the biggest, and like not just in London but anywhere. It's really, really good.
Okay, I'm missing everything here. Being in London, and I'm missing everything here. Okay, Alex, you are going to be the guide for me. I'll just go wherever you say you ask me to go. And,
well, if you're in London, the Hackspace when I was there, they had, what was it? Operation Bike Shed. It was a caravan.
Name similar.
They had converted into a starship.
Wow.
So the inside was like something out of Star Trek, and it rocked around, and it was.
Sorry,
like,
what is it again? I'm just going to go check out right away.
Oh, just search London Hackspace Starship, I guess. That might come up.
Starship. Okay. Mobile spaceship disaster simulator.
That's
London
the one,
Bike
yes.
Shed?
That's the one, yes.
Okay.
Some of my friends worked on that.
Right. Yes. Caravan, Maker Faire, Simulator, Spaceship. Okay. I'm just going to find out where exactly it is. Is it the London Bike Shed?
Could be. It's been a while.
Okay.
But yeah, we're thinking of building all kinds of crazy stuff here. Like
it's near Wembley. I'm going to go there like tomorrow. This is awesome. This is one of the best things. Just
be sure to check out a lot of these hackerspaces. They have a dedicated open night.
Okay.
Otherwise, they are typically members only.
Right. And Alex, you have been talking a lot about India. Your colleagues are from India. So Vikas is asking, have you ever been to India, Alex?
I was planning to once, but that fell through. I would love to go, but the way the world is right now with Corona still, yeah, fingers crossed, but I don't know when.
So I'm planning to go to India via Germany so I can pick you up in case if you are ready. Next month.
Yeah, just stick me in a suitcase. We're golden.
Sure. Done. I'm already going in a suitcase on the luggage side. So let's see how it goes. Sure. Okay. So Aditya is asking, is this Hackers Utopia?
You mean is the name of it Hackers Utopia, or is
Aditya,
it
you're just here. Just
hackers?
ask, man. Unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, no, I was talking about that Starship one.
Oh, right. It's a hell of a lot of fun, but I don't know about a utopia. I think the true utopia is the friends we make along the way.
That was very deep.
Yeah.
It was complete rubbish is what it was. But
okay.
I'm good at saying shallow things that sound deep. It's the beard. I don't think I could get away with it without the beard.
Cool. Let's see if there are any other questions. Yeah, no more questions, and I hope everyone enjoyed this this whole session. I hope it was informative, and sorry about the glitches. Let's, as usual, blame YouTube for it. And I really hope the whole video is available on YouTube now, because Alex, you know what happened? It in the middle, it got disconnected and it said like streaming stopped and stuff.
Oh, whoops.
We had no clue. I was like literally refreshing the screen and it was working. I don't know what exactly happened. So it said streamed a couple of moments ago, and then it was like completely stream is over or something like that. After a few seconds, it was showing it live. I mean, like what?
Go figure.
Yeah. So yeah, Google offices are just around the King's Cross. So I'm going to say, why, man? Why? All right. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Alex, for your kind time, and that too on a Friday evening for India and Friday afternoon for us. So I hope a lot of people actually enjoyed it. Like loads of people enjoyed it. And I really loved the way the whole, I mean, like my special part was the hacker space. Yeah. And, and the cute animals, obviously, no doubts about it. And yeah, there are like so many comments pouring in. Please, please, please have a look at it. People are loving you so much. Are we doing another live stream with you?
I imagine so. I mean, you all can't get enough of me. You like me. You really like me.
We all love you. We all love you because of your butterfly things. Hey, where is your butterfly specs?
They are. Hang on, where are they?
So this is another bonus thing for everyone. Alex has this awesome butterfly cute
come
thing.
On, you put such a big build up now. It's just going to disappoint people.
No, it's so cool. It's super cool. The moment I saw it in the first time, I really fell in love.
Ridiculous butterfly glasses.
Look at that. Yeah, and there are like so many thank yous are pouring in, and thank you so much from the bottom of all our hearts, Alex. And this was one of the best, and thank you so much for your kind time during this
thank
time.
You all from the heart of my bottom as well.
Awesome. We are all muddleheads at some point of time. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending your valuable time and getting something really awesome. And don't forget, hit the like, subscribe, and also try to take a full screen screenshot of Alex with his butterfly glasses and post it on LinkedIn and all your socials. Make Alex famous, and so that we can do a lot more things from Alex. And yeah, don't forget to tag us as well. So all the links and details are in the description. And thank you so much for everyone to coming in, and see you all.
Star that repo.
Star that repo, get the swags, and stay safe, stay home. Make sure you follow the local COVID guidelines as well.
Exactly. Bye, everyone. Thanks again.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.